Hello everyone, Erin here. Thank you for joining me. We're going to create a scrapbook layout today. Now I have the Halloween Memories collection, but I'm not actually making a Halloween layout per se. This is my niece Madeline, and she's looking so epically fierce in these photos. She worked for a year for a professional photographer who would use her as her subject in the photo often. And as a scrapbooker, I'd be like, yes, send me all the photos. I just loved getting these professional shots. So Madeline was born in October 30th. So she has just embraced the spooky season. And I also am super excited about using this paper collection because she loves to read and write stories. That's her dream, is to be a professional writer. So the books in this paper pack kind of play into that whole theme. So I just think it's going to be perfect. So let me grab my Versamat. Since I only have the two photos, it's going to be a single page layout. We've got a 4x6 and it's just shy of a 4x4. They are, let's see here. This one is 4x3 3/4, and this one is 6x3 3/4. And that's partly because that's how these photos were sent to me. And I didn't want to crop it too much I would have lost either the bottom or too much of the top of the paper. So this is one of the specialty papers with the Halloween Memories kit. I've already used the other one. There were two in the collection. So I know I want to use that, and I know I want to use the books. So sometimes it's great to kind of start with what you know you want to use. And I was maybe thinking something, actually I want more of those books to show. Let's put the books over here. And then we can kind of overlap like this. And I don't necessarily, so surprisingly, I still have quite a bit of this. I want to preserve this paper because I have some Harry Potter photos that I think I want to use that for. So I really don't want to cut into that one. I also have just a few bits of scraps here. So that's a pretty good size scrap. Let's bring that one in. And I've got lots of this, and then a full sheet of the green, which is this black and white stripe on the other side. So that's kind of cool. There's this piece here too. Let's see what that looks like. This is feeling a little bit skinny by itself. Let's bring in another layer and put those. And if I do decide to use this, I'll actually just cut two strips and save that section in the middle. We can bring these back in. That's looking cool already. So I do have a big piece of this. I want a little pop of color. So that's one idea. Let's try the orange. Let's see if this is big enough to even, I don't know why I'm missing a corner there. Who knows what I was doing at the time I trimmed that. Let's bring our photo back in. You know what? I love that. I love the orange with the black and white photo. I think that just really pops. We're going to go with that one, but I want it to extend all the way over the right-hand side. So let me see if I can cut off just enough of that to make it work. So to hide that little corner, we'll just turn that piece around. Or you could always put an embellishment over the, wherever that would be peeking out. But I think this is going to be wide enough to make an impact. Yes, that's very good. I am happy with that. Haha, did you just hear that? Little Dave came in. He always announces his presence. Let's shoo fly, go away. We need a title and some embellishments. I grabbed these two stamp sets because they go with this collection so well, but none of these really are relative to the photos. Well, Spooky Fun would work because she's looking fierce and she's got this skeleton sweater and she's having a good time. So actually, now that I think about it, that could work. I also have these stickers from American Crafts, and I just picked these up at Joann's because they have a bunch of just kind of generic usable stickers. I've been a little frustrated with them because they are paper on foam and the paper cracks and you see all the white cracks. So I just take a marker and clean those up. But we could do something like that. This one beautiful because, I think my niece is beautiful. I'm a little biased, but that would work. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Actually, that brings that black over to that side. Let's see. I kind of like that. So I have this one here that I abandoned from another project, Wickedly Good Times, which is from this one here, and I fussy cut it all out. So we could do something with this one. Good times. I mean, good times always kind of works, but I don't like that. No to that one. Let's let this one live here for just a bit. I did kind of pat the back of that to reduce or, de-stickify it so I can move it. Just don't stick it to your photo. The glossy finish really grabs a hold of stickers. So let's make some embellishments. Madeline also loves cats, so I thought this might be cute on the layout too and kind of go with the look. And then I do have a stamp set with a skeleton, and I thought that would tie into her sweater nicely. So let me just make up some embellishments and then we can try putting them around the layout. I do have a couple tags too from this kit that I had cut. We'll have to hide that because it wasn't, but usually I just kind of cut them off anyway. So we've got a couple tags we could place somewhere, maybe up here. We need a little something down here in this corner to kind of anchor this corner. So what if we did a couple tags down here? That might be kind of fun. I like that. Let's stamp out the kitty really quick. I am going to color this in with my markers, so I'm using an alcohol marker friendly ink from my stash. Now, if you don't have markers, you could always stamp this onto colored cardstock. I'm coloring the kitty in gray because you think of a black cat on Halloween, but black often doesn't show up because you're going to color over all that stamp detail. So when you want to give the illusion of a black cat, go with your dark gray colors and it will give a similar effect while not, coloring over all of your detailed lines in the image. And even if you are stamping directly onto cardstock, I still enjoy using my markers to add a little bit of depth and interest. It just really brings these stamped images to life. So this is the Smoky Slate, and it does have a bullet tip, which is perfect for these smaller images. And I colored them all over with the lighter version, and now I'm going back in with the darker marker to areas where there would naturally be a shadow. So the underside of the kitty's belly, the underside of the kitty's kind of jaw, neckline, and just adding some dimension. You can go back and forth until you get the blended look you are going for. And then I have the coordinating die set, so I will go ahead and cut this little kitty out so we can add him to our layout. So cute. There's lots of places we could put this little kitty, but I also want to create an embellishment with this here. It says a little hocus pocus. So this is my drawer of leftovers. That matches. Let's try to use that. We've got, this is, I think, mink cardstock from Close to My Heart. That might work. I'm just looking for a little circle. I can always die cut another one, but I try to go through here first and use my leftovers. I really enjoy adding word phrases and text to my layouts and mixing them into my embellishment clusters. So I want something up in this area here. So this is the mink colored cardstock, and that could work. But we have that green tag. So let's try this one and see how that looks. You know what, that's better. That brings that green up and really kind of draws your eye around the layout. So we have the interest in the title, and then we'll have this cluster above Madeline's photo, and then the tags draw your eye back down, helping to kind of guide you around the layout, taking in all the details. I have a Close to My Heart stamp set in my stash. It's called Fabulous. It has this cute little skeleton on here, and I thought this would be perfect because it matches the pattern woven into Madeline's sweater. So I've got a few pieces here. This one is white embossing on black, and then this one is stamped on white paper, and then I took a black marker and colored in the outside edge. I think that one stands out a lot better. So we could do that. That'd be a very long skeleton. Let's just maybe use the top. I'm just trying to find a place to set him. Maybe we'll move the kitty here and put him up top there by her sweater. I think that really kind of draws attention to the detail in her sweater. So there are these little potion bottles that this might be fun to kind of beef up this embellishment cluster. So I cut one in purple and one in orange. I'm just kind of playing. There's so many different places we can create little scenes here. Let's actually tuck these up here. This was my original thought. So let's go. I need to scoot these over to make room for everything here. So just creating layers and these smaller little embellishments mixed in with, you've got your skeleton and then a word text. I think they all work together so nicely. I am going to go ahead and commit. We'll use some glue and get these cute little potion bottles into place. Actually, let me tape this down first so we can get our layers tucked in. I apologize for that pesky little fly. They are just, oh, they drive me crazy. I know a lot of people do the little me, myself, and I albums, and one of the prompts is something that you hate or your biggest pet peeve. I would have to say it's flies for me. They are just such a nuisance. There are these tiny little black stars on the sticker sheet, and I am doing my best to use this up. So I thought rather than putting like enamel dots, let's use the stars for our little scatter splatter type effect. So I'm going to add 3 of these in the white space above my cluster here. We do have a lot of detail because of that spiderweb frame in the background, but it's kind of soft because of the light gray color. I'm bringing this mink colored circle back in to maybe highlight this little kitty. Let's pull these tags out just a bit so more of that color shows, and then maybe this will fit here. So this just highlights that, makes it stand out, but we need something for him to stand on. So there's a couple options here. I've got this little purple sticker and then this word sticker that says beware, beware. I think I like that, and that just kind of grounds the kitty perfectly. We could still add this maybe here. Let's skip that for now. I also have a little stamped and colored stack of books from the coordinating stamp set. So we could maybe use that for the kitty to stand on. I feel like that's a bit much next to the pattern paper row of books. What if we tuck that up here? I do like that better. That's pretty cute. So let's bring back in our Beware sticker for the kitty. I think that looks really good. And then we use the stars above the upper left-hand embellishment cluster. So I want to repeat that element down in this corner. So we'll just add 3 of those. 3 is always a good place to start if you are struggling with how many of these to add. I am really liking the black and white photos with the bright color palette of this Halloween collection. I think it's looking really good together. So I want a little strip of something down here. So this is a border sticker, and I've been using just bits and pieces. I'm going to cut the end on an angle, and then we will tuck that underneath so it's just supporting that photo and also adding just a little pop of that purple down, because we have purple in the books, purple up top in the little potion bottle, and that rounds that out nicely. So I added a green one here, and then I also stamped out this, it's an old one, it's called Beware. I stamped out the journaling block and then wrote down the details for the photo, and I think that maybe right here, that's perfect. I'm going to go with that. So we will tape that down. You can see I messed up on the back. So you can always flip your paper over and stamp it again if it didn't stamp out nicely the first time around. My friend Claudia used this paper collection and a sketch I created and had just an amazing layout to share. I'll link that in the description box below. But one of my takeaways was how she dressed up her potions and spells bottles. So you can see I've outlined it with a pen, colored it in with liquid. I used a marker the same color as the paper, so it's kind of just a shade darker, and then added some highlights with the white gel pen, and it made all the difference. Those bottles look even cuter than they already were. So there's a few little gems to the tops of the tags here, and I love how this layout turned out, especially with that frame already created on the background paper. This actually came together really quickly. And if you haven't already, I invite you to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. All of the supplies are listed below, and of course you can find still shots over on my social media sites. Links are also in the description box. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you soon.